Oh boy, time now for another exciting episode of Mr. Nailsin Sunday Comics. And today we're going to do Atomic War. Not the real thing, just a comic book about it. I decided to do a whole series about nuclear weapons. So, that's what they decided to do. I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't. But, well, there we go. Why is that showing up? Oh, man. All right. Kick. Yes. Whoops. All right. We'll get to it. Only a strong America can prevent atomic war. So there you go. There's your mushroom clown. There's the Empire State Building. And, all this, it's, it's bad, Anywho, we'll get right to it, to our first story. Again, only a strong America can avert World War III. Our first story, called The Sneak Attack. It was spring in the year 1960. Great hope surged through the peoples of the world as the earth renewed its bloom and the sun flooded green fields. A millennium of peace seemed assured as the Russians entered the 9th month of smiling consolation and enthusiastic efforts for peace. The Western powers were overjoyed. So positive was the United States of Russia's sincerity that a halt had been called months ago to the building of further A-bombs. And now in Paris, at a final meeting of the Big Four in their Peace Drive Conference, Russia again delivered its message of peace. Nothing but peace on a fateful Saturday afternoon in May. Russia stands for peace. We hold out our hand in friendship and will prove to you that our two systems can live side by side until the day when weapons and armies shall vanish from the face of the earth. Hey, that's nice. Thunderous applause greeted the Russians' concluding words. Hear, hear. We face a new future. The Russians really made it this time. There isn't a doubt in my mind. A half hour later, as the Russian delegation sped away from the conference hall, all our documents must be burned by midnight. The orders have arrived from Moscow. I have waited for this for months. The Western fools do not suspect a thing. Wow, that's quite the unibrow. I mean, it's almost like he's got a little clip to keep it on, Anyway. Across the Atlantic, evening came to the Empire City. New Yorkers were hurrying home to dinner. Looks like a perfect day tomorrow for the doubleheader at Ebbets Field. Them bubs will get slaughtered again. In Detroit, the industrial giant, a few hours' ride away. With all this talk about peace, Mike, it looks like they're going to close down half the plane factories. It don't bother me none. I'd rather put autos together any day. In Chicago, butcher to the world. Get along there, you four-footed steaks. What's the good word, Charlie? Got a letter from my brother Jim in Germany. Says he expects to be home in 2 weeks. They're disbanding his outfit. About the same time in the nation's capital, can you give us a line on your talk with the president, Senator? It's all good news, Schmidt. We've entered a new era. Reports from Paris show the Big Four conference to be a complete success. Morning came to Upper Manhattan on Sunday. High above the gleaming towers and the main air defense headquarters. It's the quietest shift we've had. Not even one unscheduled flight to report.
After 6 months of this relay battle, it does get monotonous. Nothing since a DC-6 crashed in Maine last week.
I don't know. Clement, you're certainly conscientious. I haven't seen you move from that board in 6 hours. You can take a break whenever you want. If you don't mind, Carl, I'll stick through the rest of the shift. I like my work. Oh. A half hour later.
There's a strange report coming from Canada, Quebec province. Sound unidentified planes flying high above Cloudbank. Flight is unscheduled.
Probably a Canadian Air Force unit they forgot about. Keep a line open, though, Nailsin. Another half hour passed. What about those reports from Canada? Anything new in the last half hour?
Nothing so far, Colonel Winters. Same story over Maine. Unidentified planes at 40,000 feet. Airspeed shows they're jets. They've set up interceptors from Boston to check.
Moments later.
Colonel, get this from Boston. Planes positively identified as MKV-4s. Russian heavy jet bombers headed this way.
Clement, plot that. Send the red flash to all interceptor units at once. I'm going to watch our radar screen.
What? 10 of our 4 fighters shot down. 3 Russian bombers knocked down. They're still coming. 40 of them.
Clement, did those planes get off the ground?
All interceptors left their fields 20 minutes ago, Colonel. I'm checking their progress now.
The room vibrated with tension as moments went by.
Colonel, the Reds are reported over Schenectady. It can't be. Where are those jet interceptors?
Clement, what's happening? Let me see that plotting board. You plotted the Russians as heading inland. You sent our interceptors away from the city. Get away from that board. Don't anyone make a move. In 20 minutes, New York will be a rubble heap. We'll all be dead. But the Soviets will conquer. For this, I give my own life. He means an A-bomb is on its way. He's an agent. Stand back. You can do nothing. It's too late. Bang, bang. Attention, Defense Air Wing. All interceptors return to city at once. Enemy headed straight for New York City.
Kill the dirty agent.
It's too late, man. They're 15 minutes away. The only thing we can still do is to warn the rest of the country and sound the alarm.
Peace, yeah. This is the peace they wanted.
High above the unsuspecting city, the wail of sirens suddenly mingled with church bells. Whee! Yeah, that's not going to do much, 40,000 feet above the panic metropolis. Bombardier to Conrad pilot. On target, get ready. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Down, down, its piercing scream, blending with the wail of sirens, rushed the A-bomb, the greatest destructive force ever devised by the hand of man. Oh, it's just like the cover, Yeah, look at that. Seconds later, the bomb struck, and New York became a raging inferno. Broken molten bridges crashed into the East River, and the very water seemed on fire. The ponderous Queen Mary had just passed the Statue of Liberty when the catastrophe struck. Well, at least the statue got a ride and didn't sink, That's something. Moments after the blast, a huge tidal wave gathered momentum in lower New York Harbor. Like a huge battering ram, it swept over lower Manhattan. The shelters became pools of death where thousands drowned. Glub, 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 glub. Sheets of flame roared above the gasworks on the East River Drive. Whoops. In the labyrinthine cellars beneath, panicked workers rushed to shut off the huge reservoir tanks buried deep in the earth. Shut off these gas reservoirs, hurry, the fires are getting closer. If they blow, everything will go a mile in the air. Too late. The gas mains exploded with the impact of an earthquake. Blam! Oh, well. The Independent Subway had just drawn into the West 50th Street station when the crushing blow fell. Yay! Huh? When the stunned survivors emerged, what happened? It looks like the world's coming to an end. We're trapped! We'll never get out alive. The jewel of New York's Park, Central Park, was inundated by its own reservoir. Yeah. Meanwhile, the George Washington Bridge snapped its cables and collapsed. In the Lincoln Tunnel, hundreds of feet beneath the Hudson, at the moment of the bomb's impact, we're caught in an earthquake. The tunnel roof's giving way. A moment later, yarr! A skeleton civil defense force in Upper Manhattan rushed from its shelter to lend aid. What a blast! It sounded like a volcano tore loose. I wonder how many blocks we're in. Well, we're lucky we were so deep below the surface. They emerged to find death waiting amid the flames and lethal radiation. The whole city's gone. Oh, we came up too fast. My lungs are burning up. No. And then here's the police officer. Nothing to see here. Move along. This was Manhattan 5 minutes after a single A-bomb fell. A heap of twisted, broken rubble. What? Was the Empire City the only target that peaceful May morning? No, for within the same hour, Chicago suffered a similar murderous attack from other red bombers. See? Crazed cattle ran from the burning pens into the gutted city. Our defense hub, Detroit, was a shambles of twisted steel and blasted factories in 30 seconds. This was a storage depot for 5,000 new automobiles. Man, what a waste, This was a reservoir 30 feet deep, 1 mile away from the blast center. This was a defense housing unit where 20,000 families once lived.
I'm going to be a little late getting home, honey.
Lake Erie, with devastating finality, rose like a huge waterspout, flinging its massive strength up the Detroit River to engulf the stricken city. Yep. Leaving stricken New York, the Russian fleet droned on toward the south. A direct hit, Comrade Bombardier. We have wiped out New York. Now we finish our mission with strike against the capitalist center of the world. On to Washington. A single plane suddenly detached itself from the fleet and sped out to sea. Good luck, Commander Vasily. Keep formation from now on. Maintain radio silence. You must meet the interceptors and conquer them. Are those all lined up like this? Yeah, whatever. Aboard the lone A-bomb carrier plane. We have struck a great blow for the Soviet Union. The news will rock the world. We are 100 miles at sea. The interceptors have been fooled. Good. Now change course and fly south. We shall approach Washington from the water. Well, every available plane took to the air from Washington the moment the New York disaster was flashed to the capital. Last report was from Philadelphia. About 35 of them headed straight for Washington. 400 jets will meet them in 20 minutes. They won't get a single plane through. Good hunting, Joe. As the last fighter jets left the field, what's the matter with you guys? What's holding me up? We're doing all we can, sir, but your plane has a fuel line leak. You can't take it off the ground. Don't tell me I'm gonna be stranded here. Get me another plane. They're all gone, sir. There aren't any more planes available. I feel like a clipped chicken. 2 years of combat in Korea with never a day lost. And now this happens to me. There must be something I can do. Maybe operations can get me a plane. 15 minutes later, 10 miles north of Baltimore, the Russian decoy bombers met a wall of destructive fire. The Americanis fly like winged demons. There is no escaping them. Aye, the oil lines are hit. We are burning. So virile was the defense that not a single Russian bomber escaped destruction. But from the battered hulk of one plane, the last Comet plane's been blasted. But look, Terry, they're bailing out of one. Don't worry, they're right over the Aberdeen proving grounds. They haven't got a chance. From Aberdeen, flying squads of American soldiers converged on the Reds. Try to take them alive. Let's finish the dirty killers. Why should they live after what they did? Get back. I don't love them any more than you do, but they're needed for questioning. Just then, headquarters staff arrived. This is the only language they can understand. I'll put that rifle down, soldier. These Russians are more valuable to us alive right now. After prolonged questioning. But why was this attack made after your country pledged itself to peace? Why? Our high command told us they capture U.S. plans. Plans show our country to be attacked this week by atom bomb. We must attack first. That is all I know. Take him away for strategic interrogation. Find out where those planes came from and where the bombs were loaded. Probably in the Soviet Union. Oh, yeah. Anyway, check possibility of further attacks. Yes, sir, at once. Back at Washington, Russ fought for another plane. Sorry, Lieutenant, there isn't a single plane in Washington. They're all out, red hunting. It isn't right. I deserve a crack at them, too. Slowly, the sensitive radar scanner turned on its axis, and the skies were searched. Then it stopped. There's a plane coming this way from the east, from the sea. Could it be one of ours? No, we don't have any out there. All our planes are headed north to intercept the Reds. It must be a red plane. Lieutenant, check your ship again. Maybe you can get it off the ground. But a few minutes ago, they said he couldn't. So, we haven't repaired the leak yet, Lieutenant. You can't use the plane. I can't wait for repairs now. There isn't a second to spare. What? Oh, man. Once that fuel hits your hot tailpipe, you'll explode like a rocket. Don't, Lieutenant. Out of my way. I can't explain now. I must take that plane up. With jets flaming, the ship power climbed at a blinding speed. 5, 6, 7,000 feet. No sign of any plane yet. It was coming in high. At 30,000 feet, Russ spotted his target. There it is, an MKV-4, just like they said. He's over the Potomac River now. Baby, don't fail me now. Well, anyway, at 40,000 feet, the huge bomber proceeded in steady flight over the Capitol. Ignore the American. We're over the target now. Prepare to bomb. A 1, a 2, a 3. A few more seconds is all I need. Please, give me just a... Man. A few seconds. They've dropped the bomb. There's only one thing I can do. One thing I must do. Russ set his jet into a straight power dive with motors wide open at supersonic speed. His course was set. He had to intercept that bomb. 37, 36, 35. I must keep conscious and hang on. At 32,000 feet, the jet fighter crossed the hell-bomb's path. Thus, the first great hero of World War III died. The blast, 32,000 feet above Washington, atomized Russ Dennis's frail body, but the Capitol was saved. 1 hour later, the President of the United States addressed the stricken country. I cannot find words to express my undying gratitude to the young eagle who gave his life. That we here might live. The President rallied the nation with his final words. The war we did not want has come. We have been caught off guard, but we shall return blow for blow until tyranny has vanished from the face of the earth. Well, there we go. What a happy little story, you know. Look upon the pictures of our giant cities, hundreds of years in the building, smashed by the atom bomb, and say, this shall not come to pass. More than ever today, only a strong America can prevent this from becoming a reality. Yeah. Well, look, you had a pilot who was willing to fly right into it. So, problem solved. Except, well, it's too bad for New York, Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore. But Washington, D.C. gets saved. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's how that worked out, at least that time around. Funny, I don't remember this story happening in real life. Anyway, Cronus got wizened. This is intense. They are attacking with atoms. I know, imagine that. That's what they used. Atoms. And after all that trouble, they just blew them up. Oh, well. Meanwhile, over in Germany, Berlin powder keg. I wonder what that means. Well, are we intruding here? Anyway, a few hours before the rain of death descended upon the American cities, Berlin lay asleep, lulled in a false security, like the rest of the world, more than willing to believe the great peace myth which the Moscow salesmen were peddling on an international scale. But, for Berlin was a living testament of the destruction a modern city can expect to the survivors of World War II. The debris of the terrible blasting it had experienced then had not yet been carted away. Not everybody was asleep. In a small cafe, well on the outskirts of town, Sergeant Jeff Rainsford and his squad were celebrating their departure for the States on the following day. It's been swell being in your outfit this past year. It's the only thing I'm gonna miss when I get back home. You're a great guy to soldier with, Jeff. That goes double for you, Willie. The whole squad has been a fine outfit. I'm glad we were able to manage this final shindig together. What is the city, Chicago, like? Where you live, Ivan? Chicago, it's a big place with a big heart. The Windy City, they call it. Boy, will I be glad to get home. You look very happy tonight. I sure am. In a few days, I'm going to be home with my little wife. What a reception I'm going to get. you know? You know? Sonny Ross was writing his final letter. It's awfully quiet in Berlin. Even the Ruskies have been real friendly. But it'll be wonderful to be back home in Detroit and see an undamaged city again. Jeff called the group together. It's time to call it a day, fellers. We've got to be up at 0600 to catch that furloughed train. Everybody grab a last stein. We'll sing Auld Lang Syne. The last lines died on their lips as suddenly, boom! Look, they're hitting West Berlin, our zone. I've never seen shells burst like that before. It sounds like atomic artillery. The Ruskies sure mean business. We've got to get back to our company. But as they race through the suburbs to get to their outfit, Willie, douse your lights. Look at that column of Russian heavies coming over. That cuts off our entrance to the city. Who knows if we got an outfit left anyhow? West Berlin was in flames. The bombed-out ruins from the previous war collapsed beneath the atomic blast. Elsa, I lived through the entire bombing during the last war, but never have I seen anything like this. There is no escape. Berlin is completely surrounded. What shall we do, Hans? You'll probably end up, Yeah. In the steel and concrete shelter of Allied military headquarters. What about the fifth wing? Can't you get me through to them? What? The fields have been overrun?
They've closed off the highways. Uh, Temp, Templehof Air Dome has been taken. Okay, whatever. Old bridges across the Spree are in their hands.
I'm concerned. As the commanding general entered the room,
Latest report, sir. The 18th Regiment is wiped out or captured. I don't know which. No survivors reported back.
gentlemen, prepare yourself for a great shock. The attack on Berlin is not an isolated incident. His words struck like an exploding bomb. We've just been informed that New York, Chicago, and Detroit have been atom bombed.
What about Baltimore?
Oh, yeah, them too.
Meanwhile, the Russians were driving through all sides. Jeff decided to abandon the Jeep. Come on, guys, we can't stay in the Jeep. We'd be duck soup for a commie shell. We'll have to leg it.
Running down alleyways and darkened streets, whatever drew near the city.
They sure did a complete job on Berlin.
Where do we go from here, Sorge? We're cut off, surrounded.
Duck fellers, more tanks coming this way.
I've been in tough spots before, but they were picnics compared to this. Look, one of the Reds' tanks is staying here. The crew's getting out.
It's a signal unit. They're carrying telephones. Say, that gives me an idea. It's taking a heck of a chance, but we have no choice. Come here, Ivan. Listen, you know their lingo.
In a few minutes, the daring plan went into operation. Ivan called to the Russians in their own language. This way, comrades. I have found a good place for our switchboard. We come at once.
Now hit 'em hard. Don't let any of them get away.
American ski.
One of the Reds is going for the tank. Stop him.
I'm after him, Jeff. Got him. Quickly, they stripped the enemy of their uniforms.
Now, let's get that tank rolling. Willie, you've handled the tank before. You'll drive. Sonny and Jimmy handle the guns. Ivan, you're our lookout man, just in case we're stopped and questioned.
With a roar, the ponderous Russian tank started away from the battered, encircled city.
A mere 2 kilometers. Follow the yellow brick road. Yeah.
And later, according to this Army pay book, we're part of the 13th Armored Guards Division, and I'm Sergei Grigorovich, Comrade Sergeant in charge.
Well, Comrade Tank Commander, will you figure a way out of this mess and get us back to our own lives?
2 hours later, Jeff's squad approached Helmstedt, from which the Allies had just retreated. There's trouble up ahead. We're running into a Russian checkpoint.
Ivan, get ready to answer questions. We may be able to bluff our way through.
As the tank was halted, Sergeant Sergei Grigorovich, 13th Armored Guards. What? The 13th Armored Guards are detailed for Hamburg. There is something wrong here. Pull over to the side and order your men out. The American squad's answer was a fusillade of fire.
Take off, Willie. Blast those tanks. They're wise to us.
Americans, stop them! Destroy the tank!
Two bullseyes. Swell shooting, Jimmy. Head across that field.
Oh, brother, now we're gonna have the whole Russian army after us.
Yeah. There's a whole tank.
There's a whole tank coming toward us, Jeff. We can't find our way out of this.
Swing around. Race for that forest. Full speed. As soon as we get a little deeper into the woods, we'll pile out. This tank's just a natural target for the Reds.
Yeah, those shells are getting mighty close.
Seconds later, the squad raced from the captured tank. Just in time. Keep running. They're not far behind us.
We'll never get away. We don't even know where we're going. They're not following us. They seem to think that we all got trapped in the tank.
Good. Now strip off those red uniforms.
Oh, what for?
I just want to watch. We're heading for our own lines. They shouldn't be far from there.
Several hours later, when the squad entered a deserted town,
we're looking for the 97th. Do you have an idea where the lines are, Sarge?
There ain't any lines. You're the last stragglers. Everybody's running like mad. Come on, pile in. I hate to break this news, fellers, but New York, Chicago, and Detroit were hit by A-bombs about 14 hours ago. Not Detroit. No.
I can't believe that.
You calling me a liar? They hardly had time to get over the terrible, shocking news when...
Hang on. Red infantry ahead of us.
Just keep her rolling, Sword. We'll handle them.
Mow them down. We're skidding. They've got one on our tires.
The sergeant's been hit. About 40 of them coming this way with machine guns and bazookas.
He's dead. This is no place to dig in. Let's get out of here.
Retreating and fighting their way westward with Russian armored might only a jump behind, the squad finally came to the Rhine.
Look down there. There are our troops retreating across the river.
What a jam on that bridge. It'll take at least an hour for the last units to cross.
There's the red tank column headed toward the bridge. If they're not stopped, we'll never get our guys across the left. We use that 105.
The squad sprang into action under Jeb's command.
Good enough. It's pointing straight at the column. Bring on that ammo.
It's a good thing we found some laying around. Seconds later,
ready, fire.
Boom.
Direct hit on their lead tank. Load her up again. We've stalled the column, but those shells are getting closer all the time.
Our last unit is going across the Rhine now. A few more rounds and we'll head for the bridge. At the rear of the stalled Russian tank column, what is holding up our advance? We are behind schedule. I will have every officer in the lead company liquidated. That gun on the hill is destroying our lead tanks. Only planes can quiet it. Moments later,
they've sent dive bombers over to knock out our gun. Run for the bridge. Run like you've never run before. Those tanks are free now.
When are we ever going to stop retreating? Hurry, our guys are going to blow the bridge. We can't let a single tank get across. Jump, you guys. We have to blast it. As Jeff and his buddies dove into the Rhine, bloop, 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 blam. Easy, soldier. I stopped a red bullet with my shoulder. help the kid out first. I never thought you guys would make it. What a battle you put up on that hill. It allowed all our troops to get across safely." Moments later, after Jeff's shoulder was bandaged, "Take cover, plane's coming over."
"No, they're ours. Headed east. The first air counterattack is about time."
It was only a few squadrons, and therefore only a token. But it was something to show the Reds that no matter what they did, we'd come back. No matter what the odds.
"That's a boy. Give it to them."
This means we're not going back anymore, only forward. And this time, maybe we're not stopping at Berlin. I want to be able to take my shoes off in what's left of the Kremlin, because my feet stink. Whew. This is taking forever. Man, nuclear war is hard, you know? Well, right. Counterattack! Attention, Russia has attacked. When the atom bombs fell on our giant cities, the impact was heard around the world. Far from the scenes of blackened devastation, almost near the northern tip of the world in Greenland, our largest secret airbase lay in the Arctic quiet. Between two snow-covered mountain ranges, our ingenious engineers had hewed out a complex chain of hangars, airstrips, and quarters housing hundreds of men in a deadly air armada. It was early on Sunday when the incredible news came to the Arctic base, labeled the Ice House. The news burst like a bombshell at breakfast time and left New York, Chicago, and Detroit in ruins. All personnel assembled in the briefing arena at once. "Mike, it's come at last, and we thought there'd be peace. They were talking about closing down the ice house only yesterday. I feel weak in the knees. My family lives in Chicago." Well, not anymore. In the briefing arena, "A state of war exists. All leaves are canceled. We must stand by on the alert for any mission which may be entrusted, to us." In the next few days, all planes were overhauled and checked for fighting condition. "I just spoke to the old man, Mike. Things are buzzing. Any day now we can expect a big strike. We're ready for anything. Mechanics are double-checking each squadron." The next day at noon, "Here comes the courier plane from Washington, Mike. Now we'll find out what's in store for us. The guys are all keyed up. I hope it happens soon." The men waited nervously for the conference with the Washington courier to end. "They've been in there for 3 hours. What the devil can it be?" "It must be important. I've never heard of such a long briefing." Well, a few minutes later, "After our rendezvous with the rest of the force off Cape Jessup, we head for the Urals. Without us, the mission is impossible. I want you flight commanders to have your planes in a A1 shape. 0 hour is 0400 tomorrow." "Tomorrow? That means we have 12 hours. All right, sir. We'll brief our men." Night fell, and final checks had been made. "Everything's said, Mike. Come on, we'd better hit the sack." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. "I don't think I'll be able to shut my eyes tonight. Too much tension in the air. I'll feel all right once we take off." Suddenly, "Sam, what's that flaring down at the Hey, hangers, it looks like fire. Sound the alarm, Mike. In a few moments, the sky was ablaze with light from the burning hangar. Spread out, attack it from all sides. This doesn't look like it started by itself. It's burning too quickly. While the entire complement fought the sudden blaze, I have plenty of time to work. It will take them hours to put out that blaze I started. Moving stealthily from hangar to hangar, the saboteur picked planes at random. There will be no rendezvous tomorrow. 1/3 of these planes will be flaming coffins. The American idiots are so confident they trust everyone. Ha 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 ha. Hours later, the blaze was under control. Whew. This blaze is licked, sir, but it took a long time. This was outright sabotage. I'd swear to it. But who could be responsible? Everyone at this base was carefully screened and checked before he was sent here. A careful check was made of each man's whereabouts at the time of the blaze. We've counter-checked each man's movements tonight. Every person has been accounted for. How'd you do that? We asked them where they were, and they said. Oh, it's too late to do anything else there. We've only got 2 hours till 0. Luckily, only 6 planes were destroyed. An hour later. Where are you going, Jimmy? I thought my plane was in tip-top shape. I'm sure, Captain, but I just want to give one final check. As the mechanic checked the engine, what the? I've never seen this before. It was stuck to the engine. I better report it to the chief. But as Jimmy walked toward the exit, you fool, you'll never report that. What was that? Sounded like a fall. Jimmy was in there. Let's take a look. It's Jimmy. Looks like he was knocked cold. Something smells rotten around here. Let's get him to the infirmary quick. And soon, oh, my head. I'm all right now. Somebody conked me when I was leaving the hangar. I found something in your plane, Captain. What was it, Jimmy? It's gone. I put it in my pocket. It looked like a thin glass tube with some wax at the end. Whoever slugged you took it with them. Come on, Mike. There's no time to lose. It's 0300 already. They rushed to another hangar and quickly checked several planes. It's the 4th one we checked. See anything, Jimmy? Yeah, here. I got one. Stuck in the same plane. Next to the engine. Suddenly, get your hands up quickly. You, get down from that plane. What? It's the courier pilot. The only one we didn't check. It's always the one you didn't check, you know. I'm coming down to get you. Let's hit him, Mike. I ought to strangle you right here. But there are a couple of things I've got to find out first. I've got the tube, Captain. What's in the glass tube, rat? Find out for yourself. You will learn nothing from me. As soon as Sam broke the news, an announcement went out. Attention, attention. Don't start any plane engine. Sabotage has been discovered. But can't we radio the other planes and delay things? No. We have to maintain radio silence. The mission mustn't leak out. We'll have to do something fast, I guess. I don't know. You're taking an awful chance, Captain. You don't know what it is. I'll have to take that gamble. Stand back while I remove this paraffin seal. I want to see what this liquid is. It bursts into flames. What a devilish plot. What is that stuff, Captain?
Yeah, I recognize this stuff. It's a hydrogen phosphorus compound. It burns on contact with oxygen. I understand the whole thing now.
So that's how it works. When the motors heat up, the wax melts and the solution leaks out and fires the plane. But how are we going to check how many planes have been doctored?
That's what I'm going to find out. Mike, hand me that pistol. We don't have time for formalities.
No, don't shoot. I'll tell you everything. I planted 100 of them. That's all I had. All of them in the same place. It was faster that way. Plus, you're a lazy bastard, aren't you?
You'd better be sure. If there's just one more, we'll send you up in that plane. Moments later, there are only 20 minutes left, Captain. Is it possible to remove all those incendiaries by that time? We can try, sir. Let me take over the field's public address system. Each pilot and mechanic check the right engines of your plane. If you find a glass tube wedged there, hand it to your flight officer. Don't open the tube. Flight officers report to me immediately with all tubes. How come he gets to keep the tubes? And soon,
98, 99, plus the one you ignited, make 100. It checks. We'll have to risk anything else now.
I think we'll be all right. Attention all pilots. Fire your engines. We're ready to take off.
I've kept my fingers crossed. So far, there's been no sign of further sabotage.
And I don't think there will be any more. He didn't have enough time. It's our turn now, Mike.
The whole ice house is in your debt, Sam. Good luck and a safe return.
We'll give them a blasting in the Urals. They'll hear right back in the Kremlin. Goodbye, sir. Well, high above Cape Jessup, the mighty armada dipped its wings to greet the escort from the ice house. The rendezvous had been made. Turning northward, the giant formations roared toward their targets, Russia and the A-bomb centers in the Urals. There they go. Isn't that great? The end. Well, before the war ends, you might want to take your chance to win cash prizes. This magazine was meant to shock you, to wake up Americans to the dangers, the horror, the utter futility of war. Write us. Tell us how well we've succeeded. And the best letters will win valuable cash prizes. $15 first prize. Oh my God. And for you losers, well, you can get all the way to $2. How about that? So there you go. You're going to want to write it to Contest Editor, Junior Books, Inc., 23 West 47th Street, New York, 36. So there you go. Maybe you can win a cash prize if you're impassioned enough in your letter about how shocked you were by these scenarios, you know. But I guess it's a happy ending because, well, they get their revenge and stuff, you know. But anyway, that was Atomic War. And it's just the first issue, so there's more where that came from. Oh, boy. That ought to be fun, huh? Yeah, I know you can't wait to see those. Well, A. Thompson says, we didn't go see Fantastic Four. We are going to wait for the next IMAX. A. Thompson, I'm sure it'll be streaming in a few weeks. I don't know about a few weeks, but yeah, it'll be streaming soon. A. Thompson, Weapon is the next IMAX release here. All right, then. There you go. Cocteau says, morning, Doug. Well, good morning, Cocteau. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Does this? Do you just turn it back on? Or?
I guess it's not going to let me do that. Oh, hell, I thought it was. So when you kick it out, it's done? I guess. I don't know. Oh, I just need to check this. No, don't need to do it. Okay. Still, it would be. Do you have to? Oh, no, not that. No, not that. Does it let me do it? I'm just checking out a little thing here. See if that works. I got. Let's do that one. Boy, it really does make it difficult. Oh, it's not going to let me do it? Oh, well. That's odd. I wonder why. Huh. No. Do that. And. Huh. Weird. Okay. Maybe next time. Go away. Well, whatever. Anyhow, no sense bothering with that nonsense. 8 times. So I went ahead and got D plus hot star for the month in anticipation of Alien Earth. 8 times. And I'm watching a Predator cartoon right now. Oh, is that the one about, what was it called? Hunter Killer or something like that? Yeah. I'll have to try to remember to check that one out. West Kegel. I don't know. Atomic War seems tame compared to being stomped into oblivion. Well, there is that. Yeah. So that's how that happened. Gee, I wonder what exciting events take place in issue number 2. Well, perhaps we'll find out in the next totally, completely, utterly exciting episode of Mr. Nailsin Sunday Comics. Well, that's. I just had a burst of energy and was able to do Nailsin News. Man, I barely got through this. I guess it was just one of those weird occurrences. If only it could always be like that. But I guess it wasn't. That's too bad. But that's how the cookie crumbles. So I'll find some. Well, I guess I'll do a superhero one next weekend. We'll do that. I don't know what, but I'll find something. And that'll be the story for next week's Mr. Nailsin Sunday Comics. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. And thanks for watching.